How about that? Phillies get the win 4-0 over the Washington Nationals as they open up this 3-game set and 6-game road trip with this game tonight. Aaron Nola on the bump for the Phils goes 5 2/3 scoreless innings. We'll talk about why it was so important for Aaron Nola in particular to bounce back after his horrific first start of the season against the Atlanta Braves. You also get a couple of clutch hits there, one from Kyle Schwarber, the other is part of a 3-hit night for Bryce Harper from the dish. Couple things we'll also get into on the Phillies postcast here on the Philadelphia Locked On Sports channel on YouTube. We're going to get into base running blunders for the Philadelphia Phillies and why they can't escape it. And the one thing the Phillies were able to escape in tonight's victory, keep it right there. You are Locked On Phillies postcast, ladies and gentlemen, on the Locked On Sports Network.
You are Locked On Phillies postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark Farzetta to Locked On Phillies postcast. This show is brought to you by the wonderful people at Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use all lowercase when you do it. That's Locked On MLB. For a first deposit match up to $100. Doesn't get much better than that. And, of course, remember, this is Locked On Phillies postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Big game in Philly. We're talking about it afterwards right here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Number one thing, big three things when we talk about this game. The number one thing, most important thing by far, other than just winning the game, was Aaron Nola actually helping the Phils win the game. I had said earlier in the day that I want to see Aaron Nola go out there. I said, give me 5 innings, give me 1 run. That's what I had. Give me 5 innings. They put the team in a position to win. 5 innings, 1 run, maybe 2. I'll negotiate for 2. But this Washington Nationals team is god-awful, terrible, period, exclamation point, period, exclamation point. So there's no reason that a guy fresh off signing a 7-year contract extension to stay a member of the Phillies and fresh off allowing 7 runs in his first start of the season, there's no reason whatsoever he shouldn't be able to go into Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. and absolutely dominate. Now, did I get dominance? Well, look, I got more than I wanted. I got 5 2/3. I got scoreless, not even a run, scoreless innings from Aaron Nola. Were there walks? Yeah, there were a lot of walks. Would I like to see Aaron Nola be able to finish off that 6th inning and get 6 scoreless in the books? I certainly would. It wasn't in the cards for him tonight. He had way too many at-bats where he had to really labor during those at-bats to get guys to either sit down or, unfortunately, they were able to work a walk against him. But what I saw from Aaron Nola tonight was something that I was really looking for, particularly a real specific thing I was looking at for Aaron Nola. I wanted to see that 2-seam fastball have that tail on it. And tonight, although it might not have been the most accurate pitch that he had in his arsenal tonight, I certainly still saw Aaron Nola be able to go out there and saw that fastball start to tail away from the left-handed hitters and tail into the right-handed hitters at the dish tonight in Nationals Park. That's what I saw from Aaron Nola. I wanted to see that. I did not see that type of life on his fastball in his first start of the season. It was certainly there for him against the Nats, and that is his bread and butter. Sure, he could drop in that knuckle curve beautifully at times, and at times he did do that tonight. Sometimes when he threw it in the strike zone, funny thing, it was actually called a strike. Not every time, but sometimes. But dropping that in with consistency was something that you needed to see from Nola. Yes, there were a couple of bats, like I said, that he labored. Joey Gallo put up a good at bat against him. Rosario put up a good at bat against him. And was unable to get that put-away pitch. But I think as the season goes on, this is definitely a step in the right direction for Aaron Nola. Was it the most impressive performance that you saw for him? Certainly not. But the main thing was that he went out there and he did battle despite not having his best stuff, not having the most accurate stuff. And yes, although some of those pitches were called out of the zone when they were in the zone, it's going to happen at some point in the season. Just happens to be a second start of the year. It's not the last time it's going to happen. But when I just talk about life on his pitches, I talk about the movement on his knuckle curve and how he is able to drop that in and just dust the corner from time to time. That's the Aaron Nola that will be giving this Phillies team many, at worst case scenario, quality starts as the season goes on. Are you paying him for quality starts? No, obviously not. What you're paying him for is to be a dominant 1 or 1A starter in your rotation. And now he actually has one really good start under his belt. Everybody else in the rotation already has put that under their belt. He needed to get to that point for his own confidence going into his next start. Now, when push came to shove and Rob Thompson decided it was time to take him out of the ball game, he was at 95 pitches. You knew when he started that 6th inning, he was going to be on thin ice. He started that inning at 84 pitches. You knew they didn't want him to get to 100, and you knew, again, that he had been laboring through this start. So Rob Thompson gets him in a position there where you saw him in the 6th inning. Just give up a pop fly to Meneses there for the Nationals, and he was just under it. Just under the pitch. At the first swing, I thought, here we go. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little scared. What's going to happen? And it just ended up being a fly out to Brandon Marsh in left field. So, before Brandon Marsh, I think, even caught the ball and threw it in, Rob Thompson was on the pitcher's mound saying, that's it. I'm out. We're done. You're out, Aaron Nola. Thanks very much for your service today, but you can feel good about yourself for the start that you had tonight. Go sit there on the bench, put a towel around your arm, and you're good to go. See you later. I think that was the absolute right call for Aaron Nola. My knee-jerk reaction, oftentimes when it's a runner on first base, like there was in this particular inning that he was pulling Nola needing just one more out and getting a guy at the plate that can strike out all the time, like Joey Gallo, who's just got strikeouts galore throughout his career. You have a guy like that coming up, I say, give him one more out. Give him one more out. Come on there, Rob Thompson. Come on, Topper. Give him one more out. Tonight, I did not argue that case. Tonight, after the fly, Meneses there to left field, I said, it's probably time to get Aaron Nola. Probably time to get Aaron Nola. So right before he faced Joey Gallo, with an opportunity there in the 6th inning to do some damage, Rob Thompson saw it best, and I agree, to pull Aaron Nola from his start. 5 2/3 scoreless is what he gave you tonight. He gave just 2 hits, but he did walk 4 batters. And those 4 batters that he walked, at least 3 of the 4 at-bats that were able to work walks really battled for that spot. So he allowed 4 walks in that, struck out for 95 pitches through 5 2/3. Definitely a little bit more than you want to see from Aaron Nola. But long story short, watching him tonight made me feel a lot better about the version of Aaron Nola that you could be getting as the season goes on. Now, I said, why was it so important? Because a lot of people find Aaron Nola to be a very hot-button issue. And now that he signed a 7-year contract, you'd like to start to have that contract bear fruit right now, as opposed to like, oh, you know what? I'm signing a new contract. It should be off his mind, and he still sucks. Oh, that's not good. All right, well, what are we going to do now? Well, you just hope that he actually turns it around and pitches a heck of a lot better than what you have seen already. So what does he have? He has 1 bad start in the year, 1 good start in the year. This is something to build off of for Aaron Nola. He knows that he wasn't exactly dialing up the put-away pitches. He knows that he didn't have that working for him tonight. Otherwise, you're not seeing 95 pitches. If he did have the put-away pitches, you're talking about Aaron Nola pitching into the 7th or 8th inning tonight. And then maybe he just hands the ball to Alvarado to come in and get the save in the 8th inning. Now, it's ended up being a 4-0 game, so he's not going to get that save anyway. But at least you just hand it to one other pitcher out of the bullpen. And by the way, have to get to this before I get to the offense. The bullpen dealt tonight. When Rob Thompson decided to take Aaron Nola out of the game with 1 out to go in the 6th inning, after 5 2/3, he went to Matt Strom. Brought in the lefty to face Joey Gallo. Now, he said Joey Gallo certainly can strike out, his fair share, throughout a season, right? But Joey Gallo can also tattoo baseballs into the stands. So what did Matt Strom do? Blew him away with a fastball. Sit down Joey Gallo. They get out of the inning. Aaron Nola secures, at least 5 2/3. No runs right there. The first base runner that was going to be charged to Aaron Nola doesn't come around to score. Fat chance of that happening anyway with this lineup. But long story short, Aaron Nola walks off the mound tonight, knowing that he put 5 2/3 in his back pocket without a huge problem. And really, the only real problem that he had tonight, and like I said, the bullpen did a heck of a job. But the only real problem that he had tonight was in the 3rd inning. Luis Garcia Jr. led off with a double to left field. Then he strikes out Lindstrom on a knuckle curve that dropped in there beautifully. Abrams comes up there and he gets a hit. But unfortunately for the Nationals, They have a little bit of excitement. He tries to stretch it into a double. Nick Castellanos threw it in perfect. It was a low throw. I think Ruben Amaro Jr. highlighted it on the broadcast. Kept the throw low. Abrams thought it was going home. Harper cuts it off. Guns down. Abrams at second base. So now you got 2 outs. So defense, get this. Defense actually helped you tonight. What? I know. How exciting is that? Defense actually helped you tonight. And then he strikes out Thomas with what again? The knuckle curve. That third inning, I talk about put-away pitches. That third inning, the knuckle curve is working beautifully for him. But here's the deal. Knuckle curve is what ended the at-bat against Lane Thomas there in the third inning. It was a 10-pitch at-bat. Not great. Not great. You look really throughout this game tonight, and you see Rosario was up there with a 9-pitch at-bat before he got him to strike out, and I think that was the sinker. The inside sinker. That was the pitch where Aaron Nola threw the knuckle curve on the outside corner, not called for strike 3. Then about 4 or 5 pitches later, Aaron Nola throws the sinker well inside, and he was rung up on a strikeout. So that's baseball, folks. That's baseball. Rosario couldn't believe it, but I didn't see him arguing for Aaron Nola's case on the pitch that dropped in perfectly. But that's the way that one shook out. So as the game goes on, you get a little help there from your defense, including Brandon Marsh with a great sliding grab there in left field. Beautiful to see that. And you had the play there by Nick Castellanos in the third inning to help the cause for Aaron Nola. One thing I have to mention, because this is the only thing that really pissed me off in the game. Base running blunders by your Philadelphia Phillies, folks. We're going to get into that in just a second. I see we got a couple of comments. I'm going to get to you guys in just a second. Our first commenters on the early days here of our postcast program on the Locked On Philadelphia Sports YouTube channel. So don't think I haven't seen you guys. I see you guys. We're going to get to you guys in just a second. But when we come back, the one thing in this game that really, certainly, absolutely, unquestionably rubbed me the wrong way. We'll get into that in just a second. But right now, let me tell you about how great the people at Factor is, ladies and gentlemen. Factor is awesome. Eat stress-free this spring with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef-crafted, dietitian-approved, and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Choose from a weekly menu of 35 options, including popular options like Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, or Vegan and Veggie. So you guys can try that as well. Also discover more than 60 add-ons every week, like breakfast, on-the-go lunch, snacks, beverages, and also make sure you stay fueled and feel good all day with the great people at Factor. Get started today. Try meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, mouth-watering shrimp, truffle, butter, broccolini, and asparagus. No fuss, no mess either with these meals. Head to factormeals.com/LockedOnMLB50. That's LockedOnMLB50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next box. Can't beat that. That's promo code LockedOnMLB50 at factormeals.com/LockedOnMLB50 to get 50% off your first box, then 20% off your next box while your subscription is active. Not too bad. Let me tell you again about Prize Picks. If you guys aren't having fun with Prize Picks, what are you doing? You got to have your fun with Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 3 million members. It is the easiest and most exciting way to get in on all the action while you watch your favorite sports and your favorite players. You just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats and watch the winnings roll in. Baseball season, as we know, well underway, so don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks entries, whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, first inning runs. Take your pick on more or less. Add them to your Prize Picks entry today. Get in on the playoff action that's about to get underway when we talk about basketball. 100 times your money on Prize Picks as you look at the world's best players and take the game in on a whole new level during basketball's postseason, which is just around the corner. Prize Picks is something for every sports fan, from baseball to basketball to League of Legends and everything in between. You can pick LeBron, Shohei Ohtani, Connor McDavid, all these and more, all in the same entry. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for your first deposit match up to $100. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. It doesn't get much better than that. Going back to Phillies and Nationals tonight. This is something that drives me absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers every time I see it. And we've seen enough of it already when talking about the Philadelphia Phillies. And you know what it is? Base running blunders. Series against the Nationals, Bryson Stott. Say it ain't so, Bryson Stott. He gets caught in the base pass. Johan Rojas goes into a game for Kyle Schwarber in the game that went into extra innings. And you know what Johan Rojas did? He got picked off. You know the one thing Johan Rojas can't do in that situation? You know it, get picked off. And that's exactly what happened. He got picked off. Nick Castellanos got thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double. You can't. Come on. Base running blunders are inexcusable. And last year, I remember the Phillies were leading the league until maybe midway through the season in runners thrown out on the base paths. Stupid baseball. Stupid baseball. Stupid. So what happens tonight? Interesting situation played out for the Phillies in the third inning. So I mentioned the third inning, the Phillies, they helped out Aaron Nola in the third inning. In the bottom of the third, they helped him out with their defense. The top of the third inning, not so much. Bryce Harper goes up there, leads off the inning with a double. So you're thinking, all right, let's tattoo a couple more runs on this bad boy. Let's have ourselves some fun. Gets the double to lead things off. JT Realmuto steps up there, gets a single. You have first and third with nobody out. Alec Boehm's at the plate. Patrick Corbin for the Nationals, who has the start for them, attempts to pick off JT Realmuto. JT Realmuto, I don't know if he wasn't paying attention. I don't know if he didn't know Patrick Corbin's move when it came to trying to pick runners off, but the lefty went and picked them off easily. So Realmuto starts running to second base. Bryce Harper's on third, keep in mind. He's trying to help out his boy JT on the base paths, but he doesn't just break for home to try to score while they got JT Realmuto in the old pickle there from first to second. He just kind of hovers around for a minute, tries to draw the throw, which he does. At this point, I wish Bryce Harper just would have booked it for home because the throw from first to third was low and it looked like it bounced. It looked like Bryce Harper could have got in there and scored on the play. It would have been close. It would have been close. But at this point, he doesn't move. He just stays right there. So now they have the runner. Now they have him in a pickle between third and home. Harper is trying to keep it going long enough for JT Realmuto to round second base and get to third and at least switch positions so you still have a runner right there on third base in case something happens with what would have been one out runner on third base. Instead, there's a miscommunication between Realmuto and Bryce Harper. Harper gets thrown out and Realmuto almost gets thrown out trying to go back to second base. Little league mentality on the bases for the Phillies. And I'm thinking, Rob Thompson, where was this and how was this corrected at all in spring training? Because I'm seeing the same problems I saw last year from the Phillies now coming back to bite him in the old behind in this game. There was another instance where Bryson Stott didn't tag up from second base. That ended up not getting really bothered him because in the second inning, they were able to still score that run, and Stott still scored, and that made it a 3-0 ball game at that point. But the base running blunders, like it's one thing to be able to beat the Nationals, okay? This isn't a brag to beat the Nationals. Is it good to stack some wins? Hopefully you start stacking wins. Hopefully you get a sweep, okay? Who knows? But it's not just about beating the Nationals on April 5th, okay? It's about playing good baseball as often as possible. So that when you do face the better teams like the Braves, you're not playing stupid little league baseball on the base paths. And it happened in this game again tonight, and it's happened a lot already in the early goings of the season. And I get 162 games of bad base running blunders, or at least 3 months of it like we had last year. We're not going to really stomach it that well. But on the positive side of things, Phillies did win this game 4-0, and you did get the big hit in that second inning from Kyle Schwarber, who stepped up there and put a 2-run single down the left field line. So that was good to see. Brandon Marsh also came up with a sac fly RBI to center field. That was the one that Stott didn't tag on. That was the first run of the game to make it 1-0, and then Schwarber came up with the 2-run single to make it a 3-0 ball game. A couple other opportunities the Phillies had that were squandered. One was just a little dribbler hit by Trey Turner, ended up being a double play to end a threat there for the Phils, unfortunately. Harper was able to tack on another run there in the 7th inning with an RBI single. That made it 4-0. And then Realmuto ended up hitting that little dribbler back to the pitcher. Boehm ended up drawing a walk later in that 7th inning to load the bases with 1 out. And then it was actually, I think it was actually Stott, not Turner, excuse me, that hit the dribbler for the 4-6-3 double play. Wah, wah. And that was that. No, Turner did it in the next inning, the 8th inning. Not great. Obviously not great. Oh, and also let me spike the proverbial football here for a second. Nick Castellanos actually laid off a couple of pitches outside the strike zone today. So hey, made a good play in the field with a sliding grab. Made a good play in the field with a good throw, and he laid off some pitches outside the zone. So things are looking up for Nick Castellanos. That's good. I mentioned I'd get to a couple of comments. My man Crazy is in. What's up, Crazy? Nice to see you again. We won, but we left 35 men on base. Unacceptable. Same story. What was the final number there? Because, yeah, like, here's how I look at it. Aaron Nola could have easily had 8 strikeouts tonight, 9 strikeouts, maybe even 10 strikeouts tonight. All right? He had positions to punch players out, and he wasn't able to do it. And guys were really putting in good at-bats against him. In total tonight, the Phillies left 12 men on base, 3 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Also not great. So yeah, but as the game went on, they did just enough to win, right? But the left on base thing was certainly, and runners in scoring position, certainly something that came back to haunt the Phillies late in last season and in the early goings that contributed to their slow start. No question about that. Hey, Ari, my man, dude, locked on now? Hell yeah, man. Welcome to the party, pal. Ari is a Cardinals fan. Cardinals are off tonight, so Ari is stuck with us, folks. Ari, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. All right, coming up. Couple more things I want to get into when it comes to this game. We talked about Bryce Harper, talked about Kyle Schwarber, we talked about Aaron Nola. There's one more hat tip. I mentioned it earlier, but I got to get into it a little bit more in depth because it is going to be a pivotal piece of the Phillies if they are A, not going to have a horrendously slow start like they did a year ago, and B, if they're actually going to really contend again for that postseason, get the bid, and make it to hopefully. And at worst, another game short of the World Series, or make it into the World Series, or how about this? Maybe even a parade. We'll get into all that and more coming up in a second here. You're a Locked On Phillies postcast. My name is Mark Farzetta, and there was a big deal in Philadelphia. Big deal in Philadelphia, and I'm not talking about the earthquake earlier today. I'm talking about what the Phillies released. I'll give you my take on it coming up in a second, but let me tell you about how amazing Robinhood is. Robinhood is where it's at. Did you know that even if you have a 401k for retirement, you can still have an IRA? Huh? Robinhood has the only IRA that gives you a 3% boost on every dollar you contribute when you subscribe to Robinhood Gold. But get this. Now through April 30th, Robinhood is even boosting every single dollar you transfer in from other retirement accounts with a 3% match. That's right. No cap on the 3% match. Robinhood Gold gets you the most for your retirement thanks to their IRA with a 3% match. The offer is good through April 30th. Get started at Robinhood.com/boost. Subscription fees apply. And now for some legal information. Claim as Q1 2024. Validated by Radius Global Market Research. Investing involves risk, includes loss. Limitations apply to IRAs and 401ks. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold for 1 year from the date of the first 3% match. Must keep Robinhood IRA for 5 years. The 3% matching on transfers is subject to specific terms and conditions. Robinhood IRA available to U.S. customers in good standing. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, is registered broker-dealer. Nailed it. I got to sing the praise of the bullpen. First series of the season. First game of the season. We all laughed, mocked, tarred, and feathered MLB.com for their list of the Phillies being the best bullpen in baseball, or at least expected to be the best bullpen in baseball for the 2024 season. We laughed, guffawed, chuckled heartily in their direction. And here they are. Not looking so shabby. Not looking so shabby at all. And Jose Alvarado being a big part of that. Like I said earlier, doesn't get the save. But here's where you went tonight. Matt Strahm, Sir Anthony Dominguez, and Jose Alvarado. They combined for 3 1/3, 1 walk, 0 hits. 1 walk, 0 hits. And the 1 walk was questionable. JT Realmuto is getting a little PO'd there. in the ninth inning with Alvarado on the hill for the Phillies. He's like, you got to give my guy these pitches, man. You got to give my guy these pitches. And the ump wasn't giving the pitches. And then the ump gave the pitches. JT Realmuto did a great job there. I tip my cap to him for what he was able to do in the ninth inning for Jose Alvarado because he wasn't getting those pitches early. So Alvarado comes in, does a fine job, uses 17 pitches to get through that ninth inning. Dominguez used just 10 pitches to get through that eighth inning, and Matt Strahm, when he came on in relief, he had the up-down, and a lot of people get concerned about the up-down. He came in, he got Joey Gallo when he relieved Aaron Nola, and then he came out in the seventh inning, and he was dealing. Absolutely dealing in that inning as well. 19 pitches to get through an inning and a third for Matt Strahm. Love to see it, and really love to see the bullpen be able to get that ball and just handle the business. Handle the business. One of the things that Sir Anthony Dominguez did, by the way, I think I have this. One of the things Sir Anthony Dominguez did is when he faced, who was it? Oh, it was Lincecum. He got Lincecum out there with the slider. Beautiful slider. You got Abrams to fly out there to left field with Marsh making that great sliding catch, and then Thomas went out there and flew out to Nick Castellanos and right. So that was a great thing to see. As for Strahm, excuse me. Oh, no, it was Alvarado. Okay, so Alvarado came in. That's where he gave the walk up to Winker. Then Meneses steps in there. He grounds into the fielder's choice. Gallo strikes out on a 98-mile-per-hour. Sometimes you're watching a pitcher throw, and you just watch the ball leave his hands, and you're going, that's going to the sweet spot. That's going to the sweet spot. There's no way that's not going to the sweet spot. It went to the sweet spot, and Joey Gallo took it. I don't know what he was expecting from Jose Alvarado, but he put a 98-mile-per-hour sinker top of the zone. That's a ball that should have hit the Capitol, okay? Should have hit the Capitol building. And it didn't. It was a beautiful pitch from Jose Alvarado that somehow magically Joey Gallo just got confused on and didn't swing, and he sat down. Then they got Ruiz to end the game, and that was all she wrote for the Phillies in this victory. There is one more thing. One more thing I got to get into. And I know my man Connor Thomas was talking about it on Locked On Phillies podcast earlier today. He's talking about the Phillies sweeping the Nationals. I'm all for it. Connor Thomas, I'm on board with it, man. Get the good vibes going when it comes to the Phils. But the other thing Connor Thomas was talking about earlier today were these Johns, okay? The City Connect jerseys that the Phillies put out and released today. These jerseys are awesome. I don't know why anybody has a problem with these jerseys. Here they are again. Boom. For the people on the podcast, I'm showing a picture of the Phillies' new City Connect jerseys that are fantastic. Now, here's the deal. Do they look exactly like the Philadelphia Union? They look exactly like the Philadelphia Union. Do I care that they look like the Philadelphia Union? I don't care that they look like the Philadelphia Union. I think these are awesome. I love the font. I love the color. They're not supposed to look like the regular jerseys. I will say this. Here's my piping hot take, okay? You ready for the most piping hot take? I'm going to have to check the analytics department of Locked On Sports because this might be the hottest hot take ever given in the history of Locked On Sports, okay? So just book it right here. Here it is. These are the best City Connect jerseys the city of Philadelphia's ever had, okay? So really, they're only competing with the Sixers, okay? That's the only thing. The Sixers swing and miss after swing and miss after swing and miss. The only real cool one that they had that was City Connect that was the one that they used the font from the Declaration of Independence. That's pretty boss. That's pretty baller. I like that. But these are better. These are better than those jerseys. The Sixers had the Rocky jerseys. Look at their gray jerseys. Oh, really like Rocky. It's great. They had the Boathouse Row. Nobody cares about Boathouse. Tourists care about Boathouse Row, okay? And when you're stuck on 76 and you look over and you see Boathouse Row, you might go, oh, that's pretty. And then that's it, okay? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. These jerseys from the Phillies, I think, are the best City Connect jerseys that we've ever seen. Piping hot take. Write your letters. Don't care. Anyway, so that's my take on these beautiful jerseys, ladies and gentlemen. That's my take on them. Hey, look, tomorrow, Phillies are going to be back at it against the Nationals for Game 2 of this 3-game series. Like I said, let's get back to 500. Let's get 4-4. 3-4 now on the season. Phillies get underway at 4:05 at Nationals Park tomorrow. Ranger Suarez will get the ball back for the Phils after a solid first start of the season. Phillies will be taking on Jake Irvin, right-handed pitcher there For the Nationals, Jake Irvin, 27 years old, has posted a 5.40 ERA through just one start on the season. He faced the Cincinnati Reds. Go figure. 5 innings, 3 runs, 7 hits. Did not give up a home run, but did walk 2 in his start against the Cincinnati Reds. Now, hold on a second here, okay? Should be a jam-packed day right here on the Locked On Philadelphia Sports YouTube channel, okay? Should be a packed day because we got the Phillies at 4:05. Then we'll do a post-game show. And we'll talk about the Phillies. We'll hopefully praise them for winning their first series of the season. And then after that, the 76ers are on the hardwood at 8 o'clock against the Memphis Grizzlies. You want to keep the good vibes going? Let's keep the good vibes going. We got 2 for $1 tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, on this YouTube channel. We're going to have the Philadelphia Phillies postcast covering them in Game 2 of the Nationals. And then we're going to talk 76ers and Memphis Grizzlies battling it out on a postcast Sixers episode right here on this very YouTube channel. So don't miss it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't ever miss it. You don't want to miss it. Remember, this is Locked On Phillies postcast. We'll do Locked On Phillies postcast again tomorrow. I'm going to do Locked On Sixers postcast as well. And it's all on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Big game in Philly. You bet we're talking about it right here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. My name is Mark Farzetta. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you check out the podcast as well. Check out my man Connor Thomas on Locked On Phils also. Thanks for watching, everybody. Back with you guys tomorrow night. Looking forward to it. See ya.